What's going on YouTube? James here with Set for Tomorrow. We got something really exciting I want to share with you today. Over the last, 2 months or so, we've spent tireless amount of hours building what I believe is the ultimate rack setup. And we want to go over front to back, side to side, in and out of all of this gear, talk to you about what it does, why we use it, and yeah, let's get into it. Starting off at the top, we got the laptop, the brain of the operations. It does our tracks, it does our lights, and our patch changes for automation. Starting off with the tracks, obviously we got to get sound in front of the house. We do have live guitar and live drums and live vocals, but we often use synthesizers and other things in the back to help really beef up that sound for Set for Tomorrow Live. We don't have a keyboard player, of course. We also have patch changes. For those that don't know what patch changes are, typically bands leverage pedals like this for the live sound. They have to do a little bit of tap dancing for changing from a clean tone to a distorted tone or for whatever. And now we got the laptop to automate that for us. So who needs them? For the lights, we handpick every single flash, every single color, every single thing the light does ahead of time. It's programmed into the DAW, already set up, synchronized to the song that we play and that you hear, and it kind of looks something like this. All right, one essential piece for every single rack is power conditioner. We got that right at the top. Essentially powers everything in the rack. We actually got two of them, so one on each side. Following the power conditioner, we got below that my wireless and Mikey's wireless. This is essentially allowing Mikey and myself to play guitar wirelessly. No cables needed. Just got to plug in the wireless transmitter, which will connect to this receiver, and it'll send the signal where it needs to go. Next up, we got the XFX3 right here. That's my live sound. I use that for all my guitar tones, all my guitar leads, anything that you hear live, that's for me. For those that don't know, Set for Tomorrow is all direct sound. So DI, we don't use any cabs, we don't use any heads, everything's digital, no analog, at least to the best that we can keep it that way. Just for consistency and reproducibility. For live, it's just the way to go when playing a lot of shows. So XFX3, great for everything that we do. Next up, we got Mikey's Kemper, just a different sound, different type of product to get the similar type of digital sound that we use for live, just what Mikey plugs into for his sound. So all of his leads, all of his cleans, and everything that we play, he's going through that. And then we got Brendan at the bottom. Actually, he doesn't know he's not playing live. We actually have that backtracked as well. This is literally just for visual, not actually coming through the sound. How do you think he's doing all these kicks and spins and shit? Like, not actually coming through at all. He doesn't know. Well, he does now. But anyways, no, in all seriousness, we got Brendan's sound over here, the XFX2. He's got his wireless in the back. We'll get into that in a little bit. Goes directly into the XFX2, gets us that nice chunky bass tone. And then at the bottom, to finish everything off, a lovely rack drawer. It's perfect for just sticking whatever you want in there. Currently, not even being fucking used. You can't even see what's in there. So already, as previously described, we do have another power conditioner over here. It's a little bit fancier. It's got some lights so we can see kind of down the rack. Sometimes at venues, when you're setting everything up, it's kind of dark. So once you got at least one power conditioner in, you can see how the knobs are turned and you can see in dark spots. All right, also we got on here our in-ear wireless systems. We have in-ears for live performances, so we don't use typical stage wedges to hear our sound. We actually have all that going through our wireless setup, and then we have them in our headphones, which we hear in our ears. This way we can control the sound a lot better, be more isolated. We also have an antenna combiner up here, a little bit tricky to say. And this is honestly just for combining all the antennas into one single antenna, and it only takes 4 inputs. So when we get Brendan's pack in here, as you can see, his isn't in there right now. We'll of course get, that'll have antennas, but this is great for keeping things a little bit more simple. And for all these transmitters that we have the brain of that, which is this X32 rack mixer down here. This essentially allows us to do that custom mixing. So taking all these input sources and customize that sound specifically per individual that we want. It also allows us to take the laptop data, the actual tracks and backing guitars or whatever we have that we want to back, and send that to the front of house guy. Below the X32, we got the Scarlett interface. Honestly, this is just so we can use drum mics. We do have some drum mics that do require phantom power. And finally, last but very least, We have Pat's wireless mic. Time to time turn it off just to mess with him, but yeah, that's at the very bottom.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
As you can see, we got a little space here with actually nothing racked. That is mainly so we can pull out our snake, which, for those who don't know, we got to get sound to the front of the house somehow. And we have a 30-foot snake back here, which basically has all the tails for all of our sound. We got drums, different drums, tom, snare, kick. We got guitars on here, we got tracks on here, we got vocals on here. All of this to send back to the sound guy for his live mixing. As you can see, we got a pretty big mess back here. Cables going left and right. We can go into detail of that in another video, but to keep it simple, everything's plugged in where it needs to go. We got power at the top of both sides. We got all the audio wired as best we can, and we honestly tried to make it our best to make this neat. But what I really wanted to talk about is the back right here. We got this splitter, which allows us to take in signals from our guitar, from the front of house, drums, from whatever, and split that, and not only take a signal for ourselves, but also give it back to the sound guy. So that long snake that I showed a second ago, that is essentially connected to this splitter here. I forgot to mention, we actually have a router on this side. You might not be able to see it, but it's not like it gives us internet connectivity live. It just allows us to connect to the X32 over here, or actually over there, and mix all of our sound wherever we are on the stage. So we can open up the phone and just mess with certain levels wherever and whenever we want. So that's just for ease of that. But on this side, the last few things I want to talk about, we got Brennan's wireless. It's not rack mountable, so we just smacked it on top of the Axe. We got the DMX's box. You might not be able to see here. It's this little blue box at the bottom. Allows us to talk over USB to the DMX's box and convert that DMX signal for us, and then sends it to this wireless box here. It's this Chauvet DeFi hub. Essentially communicates to the lights wirelessly, so we don't have to run any DMX cables and chain all that together. That's the end of this video. If you guys want to see more detailed videos like this, going into the laptop, the Axe, the Kemper, X32, whatever gear that we went over, more than happy to do so. Leave a comment in the description below and we'll get on it. All right. Thank you for the support. Thanks for sticking to the end. As always, like and subscribe. If you guys want to support us, just listen to our music, check out our store. We got a lot of great merch on there. And as always, we'll see you next time.